Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here. Get ready for Notious. Well, let's talk about another person. I've been in this industry for close to, in terms of the machine psychotronic industry, for close to 40 years, and I have been known most of these people directly or indirectly. And on my continuing series, we're going to talk about Joshua P. Warren. Well, here's another guy that I've had contact with and spoke with on the phone many times. He purchased one of our original 9-dial machines, which he doesn't quite understand is not a wishing machine. And he makes up a lot of stuff so that he can just market it. He's using an incorrect term. Of course, if you notice his ad, he focuses in on the original high-quality device that we made, and then he shows his little garbage that he is making. And I have... Once I found out what he was doing and so forth, when I got back into starting the guild, I tried to contact him, which he refuses to, of course, answer my emails of what he's doing and why he's using my equipment and other things. And I was even going to work with him to some degree if he spoke with me, but he won't do it. And of course, I know why. And that's because I allege that he has been contacted by and is under control of the giant force behind this entire industry of radionics and orgone, which is the bad guys, organized crime. And he's been handed a lot of things to cooperate to do what he's doing to try and thwart actually what we're doing. Well, if this wasn't the truth, why didn't people contact you? Why wouldn't they answer your emails? What is his problem? Well, I know what his problem is. And I spoke about him to one of the representatives of this organized crime group that I allege he's involved with. And of course, they contacted him and have been helping him out ever since, like he's some credible person. I mean, I find him to be quite the strange and uninformed, even goofballish. He comes off very weird to me, and he was even selling stuff out of his closet that he had there, calling everything he makes magical. And of course, he's been, not only did he try and copy our original machine, but he continues to do little copyings, like he offers sigils on his websites, which are not sigils, and they don't, but of course he thinks they are, just like the junk that he generally produces. But they're not, and it's as simple as that with so many other things. If you deal with goofballs like this and you support them and give them money, you're also taking on their energy. Remember, if you buy a machine from a guy like this, whatever he is into, you are into now too. They're connected to these. These are energetic machines. You need to understand that. Now, he's involved in many different areas. He's involved in, of course, to give him all this money and to keep him going and support, to kind of be in opposition to the guild. They gave many openings to him because he certainly didn't earn any of this. And the fact that anybody would go to him as an expert, as a producer or anything else, is kind of amusing. He gives haunted tours and of what is it, Asheville, North Carolina or something, of where he particularly lives, and all these things. I mean, everything that he gets into is kind of childlike high school level jokes, including his paranormal stuff. He was even selling dirt, supposedly, from Dracula's castle and claiming that it did amazing things for people. Positive things in their life, which certainly is very odd, even though Dracula or Vlad Tepes was a great hero for the Christian world, using his dirt for anything other than powerful purposes, mostly of justice and retribution, is ridiculous. But he was selling those and other wands, and everything he makes are very cheapy, junky stuff. Now, his wish machines keep going through different evolutions because they never really work very well, so he keeps changing them. He offers a non-electric one, which of course we started out that way because they're based on original understandings of psionics done by Charles Casimato, who we were making machines for. And we looked at different designs from Ruth Drown and other ones that used non-electric at that time. And we had some distributors who wanted non-electric ones, but we then changed over because they just don't have the same kick, even though there is empowerment that can be had with the right made machine. But he goes down to the craft store Michael's and buys these $2 boxes. They're one step above balsa wood that he builds his stuff in. Real junk stuff. And I have one of his machines. I wanted to see exactly what they looked like and how they were made. And that's what he uses, the cheapest of cheapest you can get. The internal parts and everything else, it's just junk. The craftsmanship is poor, to say it best, on every level. It puts a little antenna coming out of it. And he has some electrical ones now as well, and they are just junk as well. And I wouldn't be too trusting of the electrical circuits in there if they're even all that safe. So these things are made at the most rock bottom, cheapest, junkiest, crappiest way you can. And but when you don't take things seriously, that's what it's about. And of course, like most of these people, they have to copy. He's written a few books. I did buy his book, the Use the Force, which is really a very low level thinking in terms of, but that was a deal he got with Simon and Schuster through his buddies. And that was contrived for him. I'm not even sure he actually read it. I don't know, but wrote it, I should say, because it's all at low level. He had the Wishing Machine book and other ones, and I bought these to see exactly what he was doing. It's all just real junk, and he has no background in anything. He's studied nothing. He's taken no courses. He's not a person that's evolved well. He's taken our products, even things that are like 25 years old. He's copied these and made his pseudo copies of them, and none of what he does to the stuff puts little crystals in them, little designs. Well, he has no idea what he's doing or the type that he's using. So this kind of stuff that goes in there and the super low quality that it is really doesn't produce anything. Now, when you get down to wishing machines, it is basically based on thought forms. Now, he lets you dial in of ways to do it, and he demonstrates this in a video. This is what I told him of how to use the units in general. But that's, wishing machines generally don't have dials, but he's saying to dial it in. So what he's really doing, and he's doing this to sell. He doesn't want to call it a radionic machine or talk about dialing, because that'll probably scare people away. But he shows in his little video actually how to do it. If you watch that video, make sure that you watch to the left. You'll see our machine there, the one that was about 30 years old. There it is. And you can see the nice box it is, the high quality, etc. And of course, there wasn't a lot of guts in these things, and there wasn't a lot of electricity, because that's not really what they said make them work. It's the pattern inside, the turning of the dials, that seems to make these things work, based on the thought form empowerment of it. The psychic concentration on the dials, this fills them with thought form energy, then it is projected out through the way the dials are situated, the coils, and what you place on the machine. So that's how the theory of it works. I should say that the theory, it does work. The problem with non-electric is it just doesn't have the kick. And 30 years ago, things worked much better because it wasn't as the world wasn't as messed up then. It still was pretty messed up, but there wasn't as much clogging of the airwaves, so to speak. There wasn't as many wireless phones, everything else. And if you had a good thought form energy, meaning you were pretty psychic, you could make these work well for you. But it still comes down to that the electrical units put out pretty much, 1,000 times more energy. So you don't really want to use non-electric anymore. You should at least upgrade. If you have a non-electric unit, and we do have upgrades, you could upgrade using our tube amplifiers and broadcast units. These are very important to cut down the manifestation time by a third and to break through in cases that you normally wouldn't. So non-electric are much weaker, and the manifesting time and success rates are much lower. But he wouldn't know any of that because he has no background. And when he has chances to talk with people who do know something, well, he's never going to do that. He talks with a bunch of people who are very unskilled. But when I tried to first contact him and had one of an infiltrator of my organization who had talked about him, well, all of a sudden he got all these deals. All of a sudden he started to come out with all these different things. And of course, we all know why. And that's the plain and simple, is that, people like this who are unqualified, who really don't know anything of what they're doing, who have no training, no background, and have nobody really to go to of any skill to assist them, are the kind of people they want. They want people like this, and they want to sell this kind of low quality garbage to get that on the market. They certainly don't want quality products out there because they want to make sure that their people run this industry in particular, because they're all involved. Anybody who's producing radionic equipment that I know of, almost all of them, I should say, there's a few people apparently are not, but I'm not sure about that. They're probably under the control indirectly, if not directly. But the ones that I know about, particularly anybody based within the United States or the UK, are all working with these organized crime criminals out there in general. I allege that, and of course, while it's always difficult to prove it, not too difficult, but the whole idea is that that's what appears to be going on. Certainly, he is connected with them from what I know, and this is all part of it. But the bottom line is, regardless of his background, this is junk technology, poorly put together in junky little boxes, and this is what he thinks has value. So they make these things for $5 or $10 and charge you hundreds for it, which isn't, again, is that a lot of money? Well, not really. These are fun toys to get, but you're not really getting something that'll work for you. And when people buy this stuff and get disillusioned by it, they get turned off to the quality products that I wish were out there, but will be out there soon from the Guild. But you can't find it any other place, because what's out there right now is a lot of junk, a lot of expensive junk hooked up to all of these Satanists and goofballs that are running this industry. It's really sad, but I certainly understand it. The powers to be are very frightened to empower the individual with quality products. So they can't stop this because it's already out in the public. So what do? Well, you have people produce really garbage products like Charles Cosamato himself does, who has no background either, and as he does. And we can just go down the list of these incompetent builders that are out there who are putting out things. So it's really sad, but these things will change as the next generation of radionic equipment comes out from the IGOS, which is based in super advanced technologies. The actual principles behind these types of tools are fascinating and have been proven to work, but everybody's still working with 19th century understanding of these things, or at the most 20th century. All of this doesn't add up to be very much. We are now in the 21st century, and we need to use the kind of technology that's out there now to build potent tools that change your life and empower you, the individual. Because really, that's the only answer. All other systems, all other groups out there are all highly corrupt and led by evil. If we're going to change things, we need to empower the individual, and of course, IGOS is on the front lines doing that. So don't let people like this, no background, no training, building their junk technology, and put you off, or should you support them? People should know that he is just one of many of the out there who are producing really bad tools that have very poor energies, and most likely you're not going to get any more success. You might as well just get one of these things you print off the internet, just a pattern of a circuit, Print that out and use that, and that'll cost you virtually nothing, and you're going to get probably better results than using this kind of junk technology which isn't built correctly, which the energy doesn't flow through right. But one of the problems here is that his energy is in it, and his energy sucks. Until next time.